How many of you like toys? I know I sure do. But did you know in some parts of the world, the children make their own toys? The story Galimoto by Karen Lynn Williams shows us how one little boy in Africa gathers wires to make his very own Galimoto. Let's read and find out. Galimoto by Karen Lynn Williams, illustrated by Catherine Stein. Candy opened an old shoebox and looked inside. These were his things. They belonged to him. Inside the box there was a ball made of many old plastic bags, tightly wrapped with string. There was a knife Candy had made from a piece of tin can, and a dancing man he had made from dried cornstalks. In Candy's box there were also some scraps of wire. He had been saving the wires for something special. I shall make a Galimoto, Candy told his brother Ufulu. Ufulu laughed. A boy with only 7 years cannot make such a toy. You don't have enough wire. I will get enough wire, Candy answered. Candy took his knife and wire scraps and went to the home of his friend Gift. I want your wires, Candy told Gift. I will give him a knife for them. Why do you want the wires? Gift asked. I want to make a Galimoto, Candy answered. Gift ran his fingers over the tin knife. It is a good knife. I'll cut a dancing man with it. Gift took a handful of wires from his box of things and gave them to Candy. That's not enough wire for a Galimoto, he told his friend. I will find enough wire, Candy said. Candy put his wires into an old plastic bag and took them to the shop of his uncle. Good day, second son of my brother, his uncle greeted him. How can I help you? I want some wire, Candy told his uncle. How will you pay for it? I have no money, Candy answered, but you have wires in your old packing boxes from the city. They would make a fine Galimoto. So you want to make a Galimoto, the son of my brother is a clever boy. Take the wires. Chee, 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 chee. Candy could hear the grinder of the flour mill. Many women with their babies tied on their backs waited in the hot sun. Others arrived carrying heavy baskets of maize on their heads. Candy squeezed through the crowd. He was very near the front door when someone grabbed him. The woman began yelling angrily, "Stop that one! He goes out of turn." Candy was being pushed and shoved. Suddenly the mill stopped its grinding. "What is it?" the miller shouted. The woman pointed at Candy. "Oh no," Candy said. "I have no maize to grind. I only want wires for Galimoto." He opened his bag for them to see. "Playthings, for they should keep us waiting," the woman grumbled angrily. "One cannot eat wires." An old toothless woman shook her hand at Candy. The miller shrugged. "There are some wires out back. Take those and go." In the back of the mill there was an open door. Inside the door was a pile of old motor parts. There Candy found some very thin wires wrapped in red and yellow and green plastic. "I can scrape the coating off," Candy thought. "These wires will hold my Galimoto together." Still, he did not have enough for a Galimoto. Candy passed some young children playing on an anthill. One was Monday, the small sister of his friend Gift. She had a fine long piece of wire which she stuck into the hard dirt. "Little friend," Candy called as he came near, "you cannot catch an ant that way. Go fetch some water, for with that and a stick we will fool them." When Monday came back, Candy poured the water around one of the holes. "Now they will think the rains have begun," he explained. Then he stuck a stick down the hole. Gently he pulled it out, and on the end was a large ant. "My stick is better than a wire for catching ants, and you may have the stick, and I will take the wire." Candy knew there was a trash heap behind the bicycle repair shop, but the gate was locked. Candy climbed over the fence. In the courtyard he found some broken, bent spokes from a bicycle. He climbed back over the fence with his bag. "Thief! Help! Police! Thief!" Candy heard a voice call. Children came running from the marketplace. Men came running from the shops. They made a circle around Candy. "Thief! Thief!" they chanted, pointing at Candy. A policeman arrived. He grabbed Candy by the shoulder. "What are you doing?" he asked. Candy showed the policeman his wires. "I want a Galimoto," he explained. "I need these wires." "Galimoto?" the crowd murmured. "Galimoto." They shook their heads and went back to their business. "Take your wires and go," the policeman told Candy. Candy took his wires back to the shade of the red flame trees in his village. Nearby his mother and sisters pounded their maize. They sang of the hard work they were doing. Candy sorted his wires. There were thick pieces and thin pieces. Some wires were long and some were short. Candy banged the bent and twisted ones with a stone, straightened them. Then he began. The thick wires made the frame. He wrapped the very thinnest wires at the joints to hold the Galimoto together. "My Galimoto will be a pickup," Candy planned. "It will carry maize to the city, and it will have an antenna for the radio." He smiled. Candy worked all afternoon. He pounded the strongest wires around a pipe to make the round wheels. A sturdy piece of bamboo made the rod for the steering wheel. Finally, the warm, toasty smell of maize porridge cooking over the village fires told Candy it was time to go home. His brothers and sisters admired his work. "So you found enough water," Ufulu said. "Yes," Candy agreed. He parked his Galimoto next to his box of things and he ate his supper. "But the moon be bright for us to play and sing tonight." Candy could hear his friends singing in the distance. They were calling him to play. Now he carefully guided his Galimoto over the dusty path. "Galimoto!" someone cheered, and one by one Candy's friends formed a line behind him. "Ee, Galimoto, Galimoto," they began to chant. Candy saw the shadow of his Galimoto cast by the moonlight racing alongside. "It's a fine Galimoto," he thought proudly. "Perhaps tomorrow I shall make my Galimoto into an ambulance or an airplane or a helicopter."